Today on the Quick Slant, will Quinten Rollins bounce back? Yesterday we discussed whether Damarious Randall will bounce back in the 2017 campaign. Today we're going to discuss the other side of the field, whether Quinten Rollins can make a comeback. This one was a lot more difficult for me. I'm not sure about you guys, but this one's a little bit more difficult for me to determine. Damarious Randall, I'm very confident that he will be back to form and maybe even better than ever this season. However, Quinten Rollins is kind of an enigma. For starters, Damarious Randall, when he jumped into the lineup, he just looked like he belonged. He looked like he walked into a starting position. And being a first rounder, that's kind of what we expect. Quinten Rollins, however, he more like clawed his way into that position, and which was impressive. But I think that to begin with has me thinking that it's really easier to say Damarious Randall will make a bounce back than Quinten Rollins. That said, there are a couple of things that I think might factor into Quinten Rollins coming back in the 2017 season and being real productive for us. The first, of course, is that he was injured for much of the 2016 season. The big concussion. I believe he also had a groin injury, which we discussed those with when we discussed Damarious Randall. So, anytime a player can stay healthy, he's going to play better than he is when he's not healthy. It's pretty much a given. But I think that's the first key. The more important one, though, and this is the one I really want to kind of focus on, is that Rollins is still a fairly young football player in football years. He only played 1 year in college, and I think sometimes we forget that. So he really has the 1 year in college, and the 2 seasons with the Packers. He's really working on his 4th season of a high-level NFL play. So I think that is probably the biggest key. He has had time in this offseason to mull over some of the encounters he had with wide receivers last season and learn some things from that. He's got a lot more experience now, especially against fairly good receivers. He's had time to study more of the playbook, so they'll be able to open up the playbook a little bit more for him. I think he'll naturally jump into some of these new schemes that Dom Capers is mustering. So I think that's probably the biggest key, as far as I'm concerned, for whether Rollins will jump back or will bounce back from his lackluster 2016 outing. I do feel like he'll bounce back, but I also kind of feel like that's me being a homer. And so we'll see. I do want to hear your comments about Quinten Rollins and whether you think he can step back in and be the Quinten Rollins that showed the signs of impressiveness that we saw in his rookie season, or if he's pretty much washed up and is just going to be one of the backup cornerbacks and only see playing time if we have injuries or what have you. So definitely want to catch up with you guys on Facebook at Green Bay Packer, or at facebook.com/Green Bay Packer Nation. And we also have that tailgating show that my brother and I do during the summer. We're doing every other week. We're doing a live show on facebook.com/NFL Tailgate Party. And so we hope to hear from you soon and catch you in the comments.